Hello, Arcane87 here, and welcome back to Combat Mission Battle for Normandy, where we continue our Scottish Quarter campaign. And we are on the 10th mission, where we rejoin the 9th Cameronians as they push into the village of Grandville. So this is episode 3, as we push against the objectives of Rook and Bishop, which are defended by some scattering of German infantry and 2 German Panthers. So in the first couple episodes, we made some reasonable gains in terms of our initial setup. So controlling a reasonable portion of the map on this right hand side and then pushing in just across open ground here in the centre. We had initial success against the Panthers, against this Panther in particular, where our 75mm AAP shells from our Churchill not managing to penetrate and actually knock out the vehicle, but scoring a pretty spectacular hit on the muzzle there, earning us effectively a mission kill. At least we're assuming it's a mission kill. However, it was not all one-way traffic, and in the second episode there, we lost one of our Churchills, this big pillar of black smoke, to this Panther here. And I did a little bit of soul searching, a bit of thinking about the loss of that tank and whether I made a really kind of tactical mistake or what I'd kind of done wrong. And given we had a pretty reasonable number of scouts up along this bocage. Vehicles are usually pretty easy to spot in terms of not maybe a full spot, but the sound contact to indicate something is there. And and we got nothing, and then we just happened to park our Churchill in the perfect keyhole spot. So I'm kind of chalking this one up to sometimes things don't go your way. So I feel like that's maybe just a bit of bad luck. That said, it is going to have to kind of reconsider our initial plan. So coming into this, we thought, right, we'll push up to the right hand side, we'll take La Chesney, and then we'll push troops into La Ferme d'Abray, and then push into Objective Bishop before finally taking Rook. This Panther here has a pretty spectacular defensive position, and a kind of a frontal assault against this tank is it's not going to go particularly well. I think I mentioned in the last video where it's a pretty bad idea to be moving your assets into the enemy's line of sight and hope that you get a spot and a hit and a kill first. Unless you're coming in at the side of a rear of a target, just kind of driving up to their front and expecting to win that engagement is a pretty unhealthy way to live your life. So what we are going to do instead is we're going to push our platoons left across, take Rook, and then swing in behind Bishop, supported by primarily this kind of tank regiment here, or not tank regiment, detachment here. So we'll have the 17th swing across the map. We've had the 18th here, who were originally to support the push on Chesney, but we've got there without opposition, so I'll have them take this position in the middle of the map once 17th push across the Rook. With the 2 tank detachments, so there is a definite threat in this area from this Panther, which I will go and show you just now, and to explain why he's got a fantastic defensive position. I mean, it's maybe not the best in the world, but certainly enough to cause me problems. Right. Good, right. So as you see, the lovely keyhole position there through there to our Churchill turret. So he's got, I mean, the visual range off this side of the map it's okay, it's not great, but he does also, this position gives him quite a nice little, if we can zoom in, move right a wee bit, view of the open field. So if you come back to where the commander is, you can see he's got a bit of a view there through to where we're pushing across, as well as straight down this avenue you can see into that field, and then it gets a bit more hazy as we spin around to the left, a few deeper elements, and then of course through to where he took out our Churchill. So that does mean he is covering a lot of our avenues of attack, and we have to be careful. Essentially, if we had just rolled these tanks forward, depending where we stopped them, again we would sit within his line of sight. So we want to be cautious of that as we prepare our advance. So let me just spin the camera back around again. So the plan is going to be to grab our 3 tanks here and push them more towards Rook, out of his line of sight, get broken by the church and these buildings. And then we'll bring in the probably 75mm Churchill here, just in behind this building, just to support this infantry platoon with clearing out the Germans that we know are lurking amongst these outbuildings, and allow us to kind of transverse across the map, but obviously being conscious at all times of his line of sight. This Churchill of ours has been taking more pot shots, because he loves to do it, at the wounded panther. But to be honest, it's not getting us anything. He's not penetrating. So I'm going to quickly put on a target arc for him and tell him to stop, because it's not winning us anything and it's just drawing attention to himself. And as you can see, I'm going to get these all guys to kind of break off to the left, so we're clear of any kind of line of sight. One thing to note, this guy is currently bogged. We did get warned that it was pretty wet conditions. There's a chance he will become immobilized and then just kind of mission kill there. No luck. Meanwhile, we're going to push the 17th over. Right, so I think I'm just about in a position to hit the end turn button and we'll start things rolling. I'm almost 5 minutes in. I'm just going to put a quick cut. I'm going to check movement orders, make sure I've not missed anything, and then we'll come back and crack on with the first minute. Okay, and we are good to go, so let's hit the big red button. Not expecting too much to happen this turn. Front turret hit. Oh, okay, so we're getting some small arms fire. Oh, pause. Okay, first indication of Germans at Rook. Where are you? Woods or house? You are hiding behind that hedgerow. Okay. So again, we're going to try and use our tanks to put a good bit of pressure on that. So hopefully he'll shoot back. We shall see how it goes. We just spin around this way. It will cause our commander there to button up, but that's okay. Nope, deciding not to waste his ammunition. I will definitely correct that decision when we get back into it. And we've got another spot of German infantry. Okay, so we've got them on this hedge this time. So we did spot some guys in here earlier. It may be that these are the remnants that moved over. It could be part of a larger force. But that is good to know they're there, so we can either use this platoon or maybe the mortar, or we can bring our tank up actually to support that, because we're going to be blocked from the panthers by this building here. So that's certainly an option there. Pretty interesting start to things. How's our tank going? Our tank got out. That's fantastic news. That's really good actually. As long as he gets across here without getting blown up by this guy, then we should be doing alright. I think he's out of danger area now. Okay, that's really huge actually, getting him on the go. That's our tank just exploding again. Just in case once wasn't enough. So we are going to have to... Oh, hello. We found our old half-track friend. So we are going to have to silence these Germans here before we can push across the Rook. That is the downside of a way we have set ourselves up. Obviously, it's big open ground we need to get across, and we've already lost a casualty to that. Who has eyes on you? I'm assuming you are the same half-track we saw earlier. Well, same design. Could be most likely that guy's reversed away, and you're now spotted by just by our scouts. Fine. We'll get round to you at some point. Okay, let us go command phase. So I would like someone try and put some rounds in against those Germans, but it might be a little bit tricky. I suspect the target lines are pretty poor from where you are. Yeah. Alright, well look, I'm going to look, I'll put a cut in and I'll look to try and find a position where I can put some fire in on those guys. I am going to also grab the scouts, stick them in their carrier, and zip them across to in this area. So we've got some scouts up in here. Let's get our tank to move in position. So that should be, he says confidently, not in anyone's line of sight. And otherwise our infantry moving across. We are, yeah. So I think what we're going to do, let's actually leave you where you are. Actually, let's, before we do that, can we check you're not in anyone's line of sight? No, you're not. The trees are there. Good. Although, do you have line of sight to these Germans in here? No, you don't. So that was the other area I'm slightly concerned about, is if we haven't killed off the guys in there. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring our tank up here, we're going to put some fire on that, and then I'm going to push my sniper, possibly my sniper across to here, or maybe a detachment, a couple of guys, to see if they draw fire. Meanwhile, one other gambit, which I set up, which I haven't talked about. Oh, he's not there yet. Is this Bren detachment. My somewhat foolish plan is I would quite like them, might be okay, to just put the slightest burst fire against the Panther and then to run away. Just enough to make the commander button up, so it impairs his spotting ability. That's all I'm looking forward to do with that. And we'll hopefully make that work. Okay, right, I'm going to put a cut now. I'm going to find positions for these guys, and then we'll come back and roll on. Okay, so I had a quick look at the sightlines, and to be honest, they're not great. We struggle to find a good position in this field. We've got a clear line of sight onto that section of hedge where we know they are, primarily due to the forest in front of them, or trees I should say in front of them, without really rolling our Churchill's all the way up to his hedgerow, and that just feels like a bad idea given we don't have any infantry support with us. So I can get into the action square just beside them, so I'm just going to blast that for 30 seconds, hopefully give them something to think about, and then call that good enough until I get some infantry support. One thing we have to consider is we also have a mortar barrage scheduled to fall down a route from our 3-inch mortars within the next 5 minutes, and we've also got our howitzers falling on Bishop in about 8 minutes. Meanwhile, we're going to continue to push 17th Platoon and 18th, as well as 18th Platoon, kind of into the centre and bring up this Churchill to put a little bit of pressure on these guys. So the idea is being that we can suppress them with a tank, we'll then provide space for our troops to move over. There you are, 57 getting involved already. Again, I don't think... Well, we might be doing a bit of work. There's a bit of kind of scatter involved here. Bit of explosion there from our Churchill. Some secondaries going off, or ammunition going off. And then we should get a bit of a fire out from our own Churchill, which is good. And he's protected line of sight from this Panther by that building. It's a tricky position we've got to navigate to that guy. Well, interesting, we've now lost sight of him. Oh, and indeed they are putting some machine gun fire down. Not loving the fact you've parked sideways, but that's a nice hit. Those guys are not going to be happy about that. Good. Pretty satisfied with what's going on there. Okay. Yep, let's hit done button. So what we're going to do, so there's a couple of things we want to do. First, I'm going to risk my sniper's life. See if you can get across. Now the big issue we are going to have is there is sight lines from these Panthers. And there's not a great deal we can do about that. Until we take these chaps out. I'm also going to push these scouts over a scooch. I'm probably going to change you to a target light command, because I don't think we need any more HE rounds, but feel free to use your machine gun. And... no, I don't want a full platoon. Where's my partial platoon from this here, you guys? Let's bring you up here. Nah, I still think 2 action squares. Okay, we might break you down and move you across. I just want to see if we can get across here without attracting any other machine gun fire. Meanwhile, I would like you guys to get my scouting over on this left hand side. So please, if you could very quickly head over here and head right up to this forest. No, that's a bad idea. We've got mortars coming in. Do I want to put you in there? No. Do you know what? Just come up here. Once the mortars have finished falling, we'll push you in. Okay, I'm happy with that. Now, I had one other gambit in play, which I hadn't really talked about thus far, I don't think. This guy. So what we're going to do is we're going to a couple of things. We're going to target arc on and say, look, don't shoot anything. And I'm going to get you to pop yourself in there. The plan is that he gets a spot on the Panther. He then short burst to get the commander to stick his head down, and then runs away. It's before he gets blown to pieces. Just want to get the commander buttoned up so his spotting is impaired. That's the dream here. Okay, let's hit the button again. So we might be in a little bit of a kind of a waiting mode over here until our mortars have dropped. Snipers making the run for it. Nothing coming your way. Excellent. Now we also know there's a machine gun over here, so we've got to be careful of that. That would look like our mortar round falling. Not too far off the mark, to be honest. And somewhere we should be able to see. Now, I don't know, danger is also you never know quite how much injuries you're inflicting, and there's always a chance that whenever you stop this, a man with an MG pops up and causes you some significant troubles. What might be worthwhile, before we try and push across our infantry, is maybe using some smoke? Nah, I don't know. I'm not convinced about that, to be honest. Now, I'd like my sniper in this position, but this is a very exposed journey from these chaps. So how are we going to deal about that? And I can't just sit and wait for the next 5 minutes. I'm not sure. Depends how quickly we get these spotting rounds in and on target.
Hello, fire mission out.
No, I think that's just our howitzer starring. I mean, he should see these spotting rounds, even though they're off map. He's got visibility to there. There's nothing in the way. So correction should be pretty good. So if we just wait the full 5 minutes, it's going to really... Hang on. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Who are you shooting at? Oh, well, that's disastrous. How do you have visibility to that guy? Oh, yeah. Yeah, you do. So you're about to die. Unless you have good sense to run away, which I doubt you will. No, just keep firing your ineffectual AP shells at a tank you can't penetrate from the front. Do you know, he's made it thus far. If he makes it to the end of a minute, I'm going to be so grateful. That's definitely a mistake on my part. Crikey, we got away with it. Okay. I mean, to be honest, none of his shells have hit. And we can only see... Although I can't even see it there. There. There's the slimmest view. But that's all you need to get a shell through. Well, not that he's managed. Okay. You, my boy, are going to run away. Now, let's check. We've got no angles from over here. Yeah, okay, that's nice and not happening. Now, the question is, do I want to use that? Do I want to use that with my 57 to try and engage this guy from the flank? Because if we can get hit on the turret and punch through, then that's great. I don't think I do. Again, it's the frontal view. Not ideal. No. No, I think we're not going to choose to engage him at this point. The other thing we could do, sorry, I'm absolutely jumping around the map all over the place. But other thing we could do, although we haven't blocked the road, it's not ideal. I was going to say to try and get a flank on this chap. I don't think that's going to happen. Nope. I'm going to move my other Churchill up though, just in behind this house. I think I'm gonna check all the sight lines before we hit the go button. I think you should be okay coming up into this position. Yeah, I don't think you can get to see through all that. Again, just to support troops when we do finally push over. So we got another couple of minutes left until our mortars drop. I would like to try and move some more infantry over, so let's split the squad. Tell you what, I'm going to do it off camera, save ourselves some time. Split the squad down, I'm going to start them moving over in this direction. We are going to be vulnerable to this machine gun team, so I'm going to have to think about what I can do to neutralise them. But anyway, I'll be back in a jiffy once I put these orders in. Okay, so I was checking the movement there, and it generally looks okay. There's one really kind of slim potential sight line, but I think as long as we don't stop on it, we're going to be okay. At the same time, I noticed this chap was in position and was ready. So I've set him up, and I'm pretty confident this kind of group of orders is going to work. So he's got a target briefly command for 30 seconds, so spray him with some machine gun fire. He's got a movement pause for 30 seconds and then just book it out of there. So again, I just spray him, get him to button up but before he can turn his turret and engage. However, that then raised a really good opportunity. If I can spray this guy with Bren gun such that he turns his turret to face this target, that provides me a window of opportunity where his turret's facing off this way, and I can engage him and potentially get 1, maybe 2 shots before he responds. Those odds are a lot more in my favour. So what I'm planning to do is get our 57 or 6-pounder, QF 6-pounder up here, into this position where we know he can face and see the enemy tank. By the time, the guy's going to open fire straight away, essentially we should get here. The ideal situation is this guy's turret is turning and the commander's buttoned up, and we get 1, 2 shots into the side turret armor before he gets to respond. And those odds are a lot more in our favour, so we're going to give that a go. Let's see if the gambit works. Oh, hang on. Can we just check where that hit? So our 75 AP might be winning the day here, even though it's not doing anything. No, just I'm not entirely sure where that hit though. He's got to be feeling like he's having a bad day though. Anyway, this Churchill's on reverse orders. He should be getting out of there. Brain gun opens up. Hang on. This is important. Few minutes. Okay, brain gun opens up. Commander goes down. Turret move. No, nothing. Just buttons up. So, oh, there you go, right there. Oh boy, that could be another weapon out of action. It could not. We could be in a lot of trouble here. I kind of gambled on him turning to assess the machine gun threat, but yeah, he just buttoned up and said, "I don't care about it," which is a fair response. He's spotted someone, but doesn't matter because his gun doesn't work. Our mortars are starting to fall, which I'm pretty happy about. I can check those how they're going to hit. Right, so you can now see our Churchill. Are you going to annihilate it? Well, you might not be able to see it, but... Oh, I'll go check those in a minute. We're going to watch this tank battle first. Come on, Churchy. He missed. He missed! Oh, that makes me feel bad. Okay, mortar rounds coming in. Looks like there's some pretty good spread there. I'm pretty happy about that. Where? You took a light casualty. What from? Oh, let's go back before you took it. Is it weapon fire or is it our own mortar? So we are very close. Oh, hang on. Might just be, it might be more shrouds. I'm not sure. I didn't hear any small arms fire. Oh, that's miles off target. If that's ours, that's pretty horrific. Okay. Whew, this next minute's going to be let's just jump to command phase. So he fired, he missed. This guy's gun may work, may not work. I don't know. I'm not in a I'm in a position where I'm working on hope rather than tactical prowess, which is not really where you want to be. However, we've got some fire going down here, which is good. We want to start moving our infantry over into being positioned to support once that barrage ends. So I'm going to move. Keep moving these guys over. That's a little exposed, to be perfectly honest. I'm not a huge fan of that. I'm going to move you over, and I want my sniper to try and push down this hedgerow. Yes, quick. Use the cover of the mortar barrage just to book it. Okay, we've not had any more noise or peeps out of these guys, which is I'm pretty happy about. It's just going to be getting our infantry in position before these guys recover. And how many units we can swing over. Meanwhile, I don't feel the need to move any more of these guys. You guys are taking up position. Okay, I think the real key is going to be what happens in the centre, and then we can worry about pushing on Rook. Who have we got? Hobbs, -1. You're bogged. You're not even in your final position. Okay. Come on, Hobbs. I believe in you. Let's see how we get on. And pray that that 75 shell has done some damage to his main gun. Well, he's definitely seen us. It's not Twitch there. I feel like he's seen us. There's no shells coming out, which means... Yeah, another Twitch. Alright, we're going to look at that in a minute. Some casualties on our side. Come on, Hobbs. You missed again. Go on, correct. Oh, my goodness, how many shots does it take? Surely his gun's knackered. Wow. We are not... Really? We're not penetrating even with our 57mm? Really? Even with our APDS? Which I assume is what we're using. Interesting, my ammo's not changing there. Okay. So, I'm taking two things from this. One, our 57mm, our quarter 6-pounders, QF 6-pounders, are not effective against front turret of the Panther, despite what I believed. That's disconcerting. Secondly, no way in heck does his gun still work. We should be a smear of paste if it did, which is a huge opportunity for us. If we have, let's be honest, probably through luck more than skill, knocked out both the main armament of these Panthers, we can really push up and start to cause these guys problems. Which is pretty exciting. Right, meanwhile, I want to check out... I got some flashes. Where from? Here. Ooh, that's a bad one. Let's... Ah. Well, we found out what's causing you. These guys here have... Really? They're back at it. Right, more HE shells going out. That's what I talked about. You're just never sure whether they're down for good or not. And some more Germans in behind there. Okay. But if this is true, which I'm now fairly confident it is, we can be pretty liberal with our use of our application of our Churchills. And that's what we're going to have to do. Okay. Question is, do I want to keep sitting here and firing armor-piercing rounds at you? Maybe. I also want to push up with my other Churchill here, but I do need to be watch out for that. Don't know why I double click there, moves the camera. This anti-tank gun. And also at least the machine guns will still work, which is not pleasant. Right, things we're going to do. You, my lad. We're going to change up your orders. Let's get into command phase. We're going to go back onto the proper rounds. Get them stuck in there. You're going to come over in this way and sort of dominate this middle position now that we're happy the Panthers are out of order. So that's 2 of our 75mm rounds seem to have kind of got the job done. Let's put a target in there. And then once with those positions both suppressed, I'll happily move our infantry over. In fact, I can probably do that now. These guys look like they're still struggling from the mortar barrage. Let's push you down that way. We'll continue to shuffle infantry units over. Let's have you... Do I want to swing you down the left, down the road, or through the field? cannot get out the field, so you're going to have to go through the road eventually. But in the short term, I think I'd rather have you come out this way and support through that gap. Okay, I think we're in a pretty good place. I want to give it one minute. I'm going to let him keep firing. Yeah, maybe there's no reason to. I want to see what we can get done. Other than that, I think we're in a reasonable place. I'll leave these guys where they are. I won't push any more across until we've secured that. I'd love to find out what happened to that AT gun. Do you know what I'm going to do? Is I'm going to get you guys. If you can hopefully very carefully move yourselves here without blowing up yourselves any more mines. Get some spotting for me, please. See what is there. Alright. I'm feeling very positive and very buoyant. I feel like we've got a good slice of luck going our way at the minute. So our howitzer rounds off target. Guys moving across, no incident. Oh, no, smattering of fire. Generally okay. Oh, some return artillery there, I think. Oh, yeah. Just as we're moving out, so I'm pretty happy about that. Hey, we got a hit. Armor sprawling is the best we got. Okay. It's something at least. Might cause some casualties inside. Good, we've got some more fire going here. So I'm hopeful we can take these guys out. And that we've caused some damage to the troops that are in here. And we can push through. Ooh, that was a close one. Okay, good. But as we've been there, I think we're going to have to call that an end to this video. So I think we're in a great position. Again, we have had a pretty fantastic slice of luck. So we've had two of our tanks engaged with Panthers, unable to pierce their armor, but have knocked out their main guns. So these things are essentially dead. We just need to get in a position where we can knock them out before we expose infantry them for the machine gun fire. There's still an AT gun we got to contend with, and there's could be other assets, either AT or Panzerschrecks, etc. So let's not get too ahead of ourselves. But at the minute, I'm feeling confident that we can finish this mission and retain all 5 Churchills that we've got. Yeah, be interested here if you have any comments in the matter. I do hope you guys have all enjoyed this video, and as ever, I'll catch you all in the next one.